Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from Motionless In White. It is titled Graveyard Shift. It is the band's fourth studio record and the follow-up to 2014's Reincarnate. Now, Motionless In White are a band who I've always thought have had a lot of potential, but they've never quite lived up to it. And I actually had really high expectations for this record. I really thought that this could be their defining record. I felt like they'd grown a lot as musicians over their time as a band and thought that their songwriting ability would have come to a point now where they'd be able to release a great record. And boy, was I wrong. This is probably one of the worst records I've heard in the last 2 years. And there are just so many elements to this record that are just so badly done. So, I mean, let's not just waste any time. Let's just get straight into it. Motionless In White have always taken a lot of influence from many of the prominent bands of the 90s, especially in the 90s industrial scene. And one of those bands is Korn, who they've had a lot of influence in Motionless In White's sound over the years. And I thought that as Motionless In White grew as a band and learned how to write more unique songs, that influence would start to go away a little bit, and that's absolutely not the case. And you can absolutely hear so much Korn influence in this record, they might as well be trying to rip them off. The biggest example of this would be in the opening track, Rat, which basically contains every characteristic that you would associate with Korn. There's even a track on this record called Necessary Evil, which features the lead singer of Korn, Jonathan Davis. And if there was any song to really show how much of an influence Korn has on Motionless In White, it would be in that song with Jonathan Davis, because you can barely tell the two vocalists apart. And the track Necessary Evil is actually one of the worst tracks on the record, and once you listen to this chorus, I think you'll hear a very familiar pop song pop into your head. And I'm not going to tell you what that song is, but as soon as you hear this chorus, you will hear it and you won't be able to stop hearing it. The elements that differentiate this band from Korn, however, is in the electronic elements, which were a real opportunity for this band to add something unique and original to this record, and unfortunately they don't do that. The electronic elements are just so basic and lack any real creativity that they add literally nothing to this record. They might as well not even be there. They're just there. As far as the rest of the instrumental goes, the rest of the band do a fine job on this record. They don't really do anything to make themselves stand out or do anything to really make themselves unique, but they do create a good backbone for the vocals on this record, so in that regard, they do a good job. And there are some really good riffs brought by the guitar players, especially in tracks like 570 and the album closer, Eternally Yours. Eternally Yours is easily the best track on the record and is probably the biggest chorus that this band have ever written. This track just sounds massive and shows all the elements that this band have working together perfectly to create a great song. However, maybe this song just sounds great compared to the rest of the songs on this record. I really like the heavy vocals in this track. They create a real great contrast between the verses and the cleanly sung massive choruses. But now to get into the worst part of this record, and that's in the lyrics. These are some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard in my lifetime of listening to music, and it's not just in a couple of tracks, it's all the way throughout the record. You get lines like "shut your mouth before I fuck it" in Rat, and then you get lines like "I'ma have my cake and eat you too" in Necessary Evil. They just, who writes that and goes, yep, that's as good as it gets, next lyric? Even the song titles are badly put together, which is shown in a song like Dead as Fuck. I get that this style of music is meant to be provocative and gothic, but honestly, this record just takes it to the point of parody. It sounds like music that Jared Alonji would do, but he'd probably write better lyrics. Not only are the lyrics bad, but the vocal delivery really emphasizes every bad line. It's like he wants the bad lines to be the main thing you remember from every song. Finally, the production job on this record is absolutely atrocious. This record was produced by Drew Falk, who has worked with bands such as Escape the Fate, I Prevail, and Crown the Empire, so I kind of had an idea that this record wasn't going to sound the best. But then, as I went through who he's worked with, I saw that he'd worked with Cane Hill on their last record, which is a record that I loved and thought sounded great, so I kind of had some hope that he would make this record have that kind of sonic sound to it. But he didn't. This record just sounds so robotic and so polished that really all the life has been sucked out of this record. It just sucks. Overall, this is an awful record from Motionless in White, which is really disappointing. I really expected that this band would be at the point now where they can release a great record, but unfortunately, they've done the opposite. But yet, I still managed to get together a top 3 tracks, and those tracks would be Queen for Queen, 570, and Eternally Yours. And I'm going to give this record a 2 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.
I'm ready to bury all of my bones. I'm ready.